Archaeologists in Siberia have made an astounding discovery that has exceeded their wildest expectations. The Gildan Peninsula on the Siberian coast is a well-known site for ancient archaeological finds, but never before have archaeologists uncovered artifacts from the far north. The icy terrain is constantly battered by strong, freezing winds, making it one of the most treacherous regions on Earth. Local scientists were examining the area to determine the level of permafrost loss when they stumbled upon a remarkable find. The peninsula, which makes up 601,776 square miles next to the Kara Sea, is covered by permafrost, and the temperature rarely exceeds -3 degrees Celsius. Although there are no inhabitants in the peninsula, it borders the Yemelmenet Autonomous District, where nearly 522,904 people live. The melting permafrost is causing the region's ancient artifacts to be uncovered. These finds shed more light on the prehistoric people of the nearby areas, including their burial practices, lifestyles, and belief systems. The senior researcher at the Archaeology Department of the Center for Arctic Studies, Reserve stated that archaeological studies of the area around Lake Parasim II and the Yerba River, located beyond the Arctic Circle, have resulted in surprising finds, such as a bronze Iranian cup that dates back to the Middle Ages, 5th to 15th centuries. The discovery of the bronze cup is significant because artifacts from this era have been found in West Siberia before, but never so far into the northeast, let alone in the Arctic. The exact age of the cup will be determined after further studies. The findings will allow scientists to understand better the prehistoric people that lived in this area, including their burial practices, lifestyles, and belief systems. Archaeologists have found a total of 8 artifacts, including more bronze items, as well as pieces made of ceramic and iron. The experts believe that the camp was used by people who spent some time at this place and then left. The cap was left there for some reason, and the cultural layer was eroded by wind, leading to the fragment of the hat, ceramic vessel, and bronze knife handle being discovered. Although these ancient discoveries are historically significant, the most interesting finds from the area were discovered in September 2017. Archaeologists found the graves of 9 children buried with lavish headdresses and decorations, which were not a part of non-ancient cemeteries. They were all buried alone and spread out within the banks of tiers of Skipping Insula. Due to the children being dressed and ornamented so lavishly, it's thought that the newest discovery held high ranks, maybe even the title of prince. He was buried with furs, a headdress, iron knives, iron wings, and freshly roasted venison. It's estimated that the child was between 3 and 7 at death. A young boy around 14 was unearthed in the same area the previous year. His funeral gown was embroidered with white bronze crosses, among other decorative ornaments, furthering the theory that the children were of high ranks. Although 9 graves were found in the area, only 2 have been fully excavated. A working hypothesis is that all children were buried there due to premature deaths. The theory is based on the fact that they were all too young to be fully initiated into their societies, which explains their distant locations. Scientists also found evidence of fires with ash and embers preserved near the graves, suggesting that it was a ceremonial send-off. The location is known locally as the Road of Those Who Went to Heaven. The burial practice involved cooking meat on the bone as a barrier to the afterlife. The headdresses were meticulously crafted, with an outer layer of fur and an inner layer of wool fabric. The berries were also placed on large pieces of birch bark sewn together. The graves were surrounded by a moat, suggesting they were intended to protect the deceased from attacks. Little is known about the indigenous Secure Chia people, to which the bodies belong. They were described as small in stature with light eyes, and they primarily fed on fish and gathered resources from the surrounding forests. By the 17th century, they had assimilated into a larger population. Scientists have made intriguing discoveries in the same peninsula where the one-of-a-kind old caps were found. They uncovered animal bones that sparked some theories about unusual behavior. In September of this year, scientists discovered an impressive collection of 1,000 300 mammal bones from 13 different species in a central location in the Gildan Peninsula. The bones date back from 10,000 to 50,000 years ago, and they suggest that many of these creatures traveled farther north than previously thought, giving scientists a new perspective on these extinct creatures. The collection includes extinct mammals like the mammoth and cave lion, along with many species of horse, muskox, bear, rabbit, wolf, reindeer, and bird bones, prompting further research. The discovery of bones from unknown species is fascinating. The most extensive collection of mammoth bones from the Russian Arctic was previously located on the southern shore of Bolshoy-Leonov's Key Island. It is still unclear why these animals chose this location to give birth and die. One theory is that there must have been a source of nutrition, such as a salt lick or something similar. Scientists also discovered an ancient warrior in the arms accretion of western Siberia in 2014. The regional warrior was found with only one arm, leading researchers to suggest that his final injury took him to his resting place. Exciting discoveries like these continue to baffle scientists and prompt further research. Before the discovery of the body, the mummy is believed to be from the 11th century. The warrior was unique for his time, standing at the height of 5 feet 9 inches, which was extremely tall. He died at around 40 years old, an older age for a warrior. Artifacts recovered with his body suggest that he was a fierce warrior, including armor, a rose, and a bronze mirror. His injuries, a severed right arm and crushed shoulder, mean he was killed in battle and carefully buried in a ritual shortly after. Even though his arm was severed in the middle, it was buried right next to the rest of his body, suggesting that he was given utmost respect until his death. His vows were still sharp when discovered, indicating that they were new when buried, underscoring the significance of his life. He was buried with a mask that included a bill fang above his nose and other artifacts. He was not just any soldier, but one who held high ranks. These findings provide scientists with a better insight into society's political and social norms during his lifetime and give more weight to existing theories that they were independent and highly determined individuals. Nearly 19 years ago, Russian archaeologists uncovered copper market mummies in the Ukrainian village of Zelenur. It took them almost 15 years to unravel the mysteries behind these couriers' burials. In 2002, scientists had to pause their excavations due to objections by the locals of the Yamal Peninsula. When they could finally resume in 2014, they realized the significance of their findings. 34 graves were discovered, and 11 bodies were found in shallow pits only 34 kilometers from the Arctic Circle. Some were covered from head to toe in copper. 5 of the 11 mummies were covered from head to toe in copper plating, and numerous furs from reindeer, beaver, wolverine, and bear. The extent of the significance of this ornament is unknown. However, due to such lavish covering, Natalia Fedorova of the Ural branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences believes the skull's motion was a superstitious act to render protection from mysterious spells believed to emanate from the deceased. While this may sound harsh to modern people, experts have witnessed such things in Bulgaria, where snakes were driven through the heart of the disease to prevent them from becoming vampires. The 11 mummies were 7 adults and 4 children, only one of whom was female. All of the children were masked in copper and bound by copper hoops. Although scientists are unsure why most of the corpses were male, they know that the purpose wasn't to mummify the remains. The mummification happened by accident, caused by the protection of the copper. Among the bodies were other ancient artifacts, including an iron knife, silver medallions, a bronze bird figurine, and a Persian ball that dates back to the 10th century. More ancient artifacts were also decorative pieces, including belt buckles, bracelets, and earrings made of silver. Alexandra Pilipenko from the Institute of Psychology and Genetics is currently testing the mummies. Subscribe for more updates.